Ladies and gentlemen, Kirk Thatcher and Darren Doctorman, the Weirded Beardos. And here it is, back again. We're thinking of changing the name of the podcast to what it has always been: Two Big Fat Dumb Idiots.
What do you guys
Yammering.
Right. Cards and letters or emails. Well, instead of Weirded Beardos or Bearded Weirdos or whatever the hell we are now. Two big fat.
No, we've always been the Weirded Beardos.
Yeah, that was it. Okay.
And no one can get it right. No one gets it right. They're typing in Bearded Weirdos. I can't find your podcast anywhere. Yeah, because you're looking for the wrong
Two Big
thing.
Fat Dumb Idiots is a better name because everyone will remember that. They think about, that's Two Big Fat Dumb Idiots. What's it? All right, yeah, Two Big Fat Dumb Idiots. That's my suggestion. Hi, Darren.
Hi, Kirk.
You know, it's my eyes. If I was gonna caricature me, my eyes would be just slits. I can see out of them, but I literally look like.
Don't caricature yourself.
I can't help it. I am a living cartoon, but
you can help it.
I don't. When I open them that wide, I look like
you look like a nut job.
It's like, hi everybody.
Hi, I'm totally not high on something.
I could walk in. I could walk amongst Asians, and they'd be like, "Are you?"
Don't go there.
I'm just saying. When I was a kid, I've always had,
Asiatic features.
Oh, hooded eyes, and I had a bowl haircut.
Hooded eyes.
Hooded third
you
grade.
Mean you have overdeveloped epicanthic folds.
Epicanthic folds, yeah. Well, they're not overdeveloped. They're just hooded. I mean,
No, they're overdeveloped for your race.
I don't know. A lot of white guys have it, but mine are particularly. So when I was in third grade, a girl.
Welcome to Two Racist Fat Dumb Idiots.
Racist. I'm just saying what.
It's not racist.
Me. It's not racist. I'm just saying they're so close that I don't look like a round eye. But a girl said I look like a fat Chinese boy, and I remember I cried because she was right. I had this big moon face. I had a bowl haircut. It was blonde, and I've always had very small eyes, little piggy eyes.
And you were playing Mo in the high school version of the Three Stooges. It
was third grade, not 13th grade. Yeah, I think I had some genetic thing because I had that big pie moon face. There's some picture I could find where I'm like, "Yep, that was me." That's what
well, me too. We had the same head in high school.
I guess it's but your eyes are more open than mine. I just have these slits. I should be. See, it's for living in the snow, where it just doesn't bother me. Everyone's like, I'm like, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
He's made for living in the snow.
Enough about my eyes. Let's talk about my mustache.
It's lovely. You trimmed a little bit, but it still very sculptured.
Yeah, I'm working on my salmon. I'm growing it out. I'm growing the beard out over the next few podcasts. Probably you'll see it go for another motion picture role.
Right. Good.
Or a television role. I know TV, I guess. And I don't know. Everyone wants me with the beard, so hence the Weirded Beardo Fat Idiot show. So somebody told my girlfriend that they were a huge fan of our podcast and they love it and they listen to all of them. I'm like, did you get their name? I don't remember.
Did you get their name? And which one of the
10 is it?
It is a large white man.
It is a large white man. Yeah, it was a big white dude, probably over 50. But I'm like, yeah, well, he's our people.
We have a type.
Well, yeah, okay. Yeah, we're bears, I'm told.
Speak for yourself.
Bears.
I ain't no bear. Bear.
Yeah, you are. You would be considered a bear by certain members of your cub. Oh, how do you self-identify? I'm a cub. I'm young and spry.
That's what we could call it, young and spry.
There you go. That's truth in advertising.
I'll be young, you'll be spry.
Oh my God, Goofus and Gallon together again.
We went through that already.
I know, but it's
super genius.
It's a super genius. That's the phonetical spelling.
So we haven't actually talked about ringing in the new year yet. We had 2 weeks with Van Ling
And then we had
to start out the year, which was nice. But we actually haven't hobnobbed and talked about all the crap that everyone's been going through.
Well, the fires, yeah, that was
The fires were horrible.
Yeah, that was weird. It was very surreal. Fortunately, well, you were kind of in the same boat, but I guess it got closer to me. I was in a level 2 evac zone. Although it's funny because if you look at the map, my house was on the corner, the bottom left corner of the fire for the Hughes fire. I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The John
And
Hughes fire.
John Hughes fire. Yeah, it was pretty in flames.
Oh.
Home Alone, the smoke. Anyway, yeah, it was weird because it was this kind of slow moving dread. Everyone had this app or got this app called Duty
Watch
Duty.
You said duty.
Watch your duty. Watch. And so anytime it'd go off, because until you learned really how to use it, any fire within the LA County would send a little alert going, you're like, oh fuck, okay. And it was, everyone knew within 2 days, everyone's like, you got to get this thing. And we had something like 8 or 9 fires within a 3 or 4 day period, which at first I was like, this is arson. This is not one fire, maybe 2. But if you're like, no, now it turns out, yeah, mostly it was.
Yeah. Did you see that? I think it was a satellite picture where the 3 main fires started at the same time.
I know.
That's unbelievable.
Well, and also,
it ain't natural.
Statistically impossible. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was, encircling in LA, and everyone's blaming, the right's blaming the left's blaming the right. Trump is blaming the trees and DEI. I don't know. Everyone's blaming something.
All these DEI trees.
DEI trees. Yeah, we do have a diverse panoply of trees. But that was weird. It was surreal. And then I was out of power for 4 or 5 days. So, you're going to Starbucks to charge your phone, or what was weird was I was out of power and friends like 8 blocks away had power.
Yeah.
So that's why I would go to their house. They were very
knock on wood, I didn't have a power outage.
Yeah, no, most of my friends up where you live did not. And then I think I've had close to 30 friends who've lost their houses. It's horrifying. And it's destroying.
What I do have is about almost 10 battery backup units.
Oh, wow. You mean just the little, like, for charging your phone, or for
no, for plugging in regular stuff, regular,
like the EcoFlow or that kind of thing, Renogy, those companies.
I don't know what they're called.
It was funny, but last summer I was looking at it because we don't get our power shut off. We're not with that. If you're with SoCal Edison, they shut off power all the time.
Right.
A number of friends with them, and they're just like, oh, well, it's windy today, so we're not gonna have power for 2 days. And they have gas generators. So I was looking at the ones you just plug into the wall, so your house power keeps the batteries charged, and then and you can get a bigger version that basically will power your whole house for 24, 36, 48 hours, however many batteries you have. And you can attach solar to it or not. You can just have it as battery backup instead of a gas generator.
It's great for, especially if you make your living working on your computer.
Right.
It'll at least give you time to save everything.
Right.
And clear out and shut down.
Are yours automatic backup? In other words, your computer won't notice that the power, or you have to plug it in, or is it constantly, like, is your computer always plugged into it, I guess?
Yes.
Well, tell me what that is, because I don't have that. Yeah, I've been living on my computer for work for the last year.
It's really good because, normally it's powered by the house current.
Right.
And which keeps the battery charged.
And then the hamsters in the wheel.
Well, yeah. No, they're lit up and electrified occasionally just to keep them awake.
Motivated, yeah.
Yeah. That's Disney Tech actually does that.
Oh, I hate this thinking job. Flintstone Tech.
But it's really good because back in the days before I had them, I would have power outages and everything would be lost, and sometimes the computer would be screwed up enough so that you couldn't get it back.
Yeah, let me know, or if you can find out while we're on air, do a unpaid advertisement for whatever. Yeah, so that was wild. I have so many friends who lost their houses. A friend of mine, her Oscar melted. There's a picture of it. There's that picture that went around, became a meme of an Oscar in ashes.
Right. That was AI.
That was AI, and what it was a metaphor for Hollywood.
Yeah.
But she actually had a picture of her Oscar, and it was just a blob. It just looked like, someone blowtorched aluminum foil.
So she
Those
got the Oscar for The Blob.
no, that'd been cool though. If it got an Oscar, and if she got it, because she would have been unborn at the time. Unless it was the remake. Anyway, yeah. So just devastating. My friend Tom Stern's been very like had a dark sense of humor about it. He was taking pictures of like stuff in his yard, like lawnmower that was essentially melted. You could barely tell what it was. He goes, slightly used lawnmower for sale. Like just taking pictures of what was left. And I mean, he was one of those houses that was just nothing left but the chimney,
Is
like
this the Tom Stern who co-directed Freaked?
yeah,
I
yeah,
know Tom.
yeah. His place gone.
Oh, that's horrible.
The picture of him and his son standing and this was like 2 days after you could go back, and he just standing in front of literally a burnt lot with a chimney on it, and you're like, wow. I mean,
It's so
and
horrific to even imagine.
yeah, so my heart goes out to so many friends. I had friends living with me for a month who lost their apartment. Their house didn't burn down, but they couldn't live in it. It was a rental, and the smoke damage was so bad that the landlord said they kind of red tagged it for a living until she goes in and cleans it out, and she didn't have the money to do it, so she's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but you can't stay there. So they just moved out this weekend and found an apartment. I think FEMA was helping them. But yeah, there's something like 15 to 18,000 homes
Yeah.
destroyed.
Yeah.
And I knew a number of those people. And then it's bizarre because then I have friends who were like right between two houses that were leveled, and their house survived.
Yeah.
And people in the top part of a canyon where everything around. Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of numbing, like, you just don't know. And then friends who've driven through, like, who live in the Palisades or Malibu where they're allowed to go in for a day, and there's just video you can see, all over YouTube or whatever, people just driving through, and it's like, looks like Beirut. It looks like a war zone. It looks like London after the Blair.
Yeah. And for those people who don't live in the area and just see it on the news and think it's all rich people, that's not true at all.
Absolutely.
Certainly in the Altadena area, so
Yeah.
many mid-range
Well, like my friends who
houses,
rented a house, rented a little bungalow, and
unbelievable.
they were 2 blocks away from the burn line. They kept whatever that street was. They sort of fire line. The firefighters say, "This is the line. We will not
Yeah,
let it cross." And so they were 2 blocks away. So they were out of. They couldn't even go to their place for 2 weeks. And then
right.
now they just this weekend they're clearing stuff out, and they have to get it scrubbed and cleaned. But yeah, I mean it's yeah. Everyone's heard like, oh, the poor rich people, and even them, they're most of them, my friends who are in the industry or who are wealthy or have money, their insurance got dropped without even telling them. We're
Yeah,
told that they just went, "Oh no, you don't have fire insurance. We dropped you last
yeah,
summer."
yeah.
And they're like, "Wait, what the?"
No,
So
they pulled out of the entire area.
yeah, yeah. So anyway, if you don't live
Yeah.
here,
So on that happy note,
yeah, it's been surreal. And then what's going on with the country and whatever side of politics you're on, it's crazy. Uh, yeah, and then so what I was getting to is it's kind of the last blow to Hollywood or the film and television industry here between COVID and then the strikes and then just the industry getting bought up by mega corporations and everyone's cutting jobs to appease the stockholders, I guess, downsizing their
well,
staff.
because they say, "Hey, I know what we can do. We can not make anything.
Yeah, well, exactly, and we can use
We don't have to spend money. That's great. That's
AI.
great for our bottom line."
Yeah, and so now, I mean, who knows what's going to happen? I mean, that's what everyone's question: are they going to rebuild? I mean, just to rebuild, there's not enough contractors in LA, and with the new administration saying no immigrants can come in or kicking people out, half of the labor force, if not more, in the contracting business, the guys who hammer the nails and put in the plumbing and all that are people here mostly from South America. And if they start, ice raiding them and kicking them out, I don't know if they are or not, but it's really going to take a long time to build because we don't, you know, it's dire, but you're kind of living in it, so you're kind of like, well, I mean, again,
Yeah, you're just trying to keep a positive attitude and see what happens. It's there's nothing else you can do because complaining about it won't help it, Kirk.
I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that people don't. It's really dark days for the entertainment industry. And again, most people don't care. They think everyone here is rich and what a cushy job. And it's a great job when there's work. You know, it beats digging ditches, as my dad used to say. But uh, what I think is going to happen, which was already happening, I think it just kind of is gas on the fire of the dispersion of entertainment being Hollywood centric.
Well, it hasn't been Hollywood centric in
Well,
ages.
but it really isn't now. Like if you're an executive and you've been basically all your phone calls have been on Zoom and now you don't have a house here, are you going to rebuild or are you just going to go, I'll move to Vegas. I'll move to, you know, some of the satellite cities and
Well,
fly in for meetings if I need to. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
I've been wanting to move to Vegas for a couple of years, but
I hear it's warm there.
well, yeah, but it's no warmer than the desert areas here.
Oh, well, yeah. Palm Springs, I have friends, but Palm Springs is not reasonable. I'm looking at parts north, Portland or north of Portland, Washington State. I love it up there and have friends
Right.
in Portland.
Because you like it damp.
I like it damp and green, the way I like my beard. Moist and green and filled with life.
Oh dear.
Oh my. So yeah, I was looking up. I have a bunch of good friends up there, three of which moved up
Friends
there.
you have there.
It is. Like it's very Dagobah Endor. It's really Endor. Lots of trees, moss. I want a home surrounded by moss. Francesca. That is a deep cut.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. Yes. Yes, always.
Always. So yeah. So who knows what is going to happen to the wood of holly.
Well, you know, change is a constant. So I think any kind of change would be good for something.
Well, I mean,
because the status quo has been horrible for at least 4 years, 5 years.
Yeah. Well, basically since COVID.
No, even before that, though. Before that, it was happening.
That was 5 years ago, though, dude.
I know, that's what I said.
COVID was 6 years ago. Yeah.
Do I hear 7?
Yeah, I mean, it was slowly. Well, streaming was the big disruptor. In that suddenly there was that glory, you know, that 3 years where suddenly everyone was making shows and there was tons of work, both here and in Atlanta and Vancouver, Canada. And
then they realized that it was all BS and they were not reporting numbers because no one was watching.
Well, because there was 32 million channels and not it's the fire hose effect. Like even I have that. I have like 5 streaming services and
you want a fire hose effect? Is that what you want?
Amazon, Apple, HBO, Disney Plus. What's the other one? Not Paramount anymore. Anyway, and then Netflix. On all of those, there's a million things. So I just kind of end up going numb, like flipping through. What do I feel like watching? And I was like, I'm tired of looking for things to watch. I'm going to sleep, or I just watch YouTube videos.
Though I have to say, over the past couple weekends, I've been binge watching old episodes of the 90 Day Fiancee show.
Oh,
have you ever seen that?
I saw it. I was like,
it's like a car accident.
That's what I mean. It's like it's the human version of putting a magnifying glass on ants and just watching these poor schmoes who usually they're guys that look like us with beautiful
and poor women who are.
The only thing I watched was some kind of poor troll-like dude in his 50s with some, East Asian gal who's lovely and young, and they didn't. Yeah. They don't. Neither of them speak the other's language. There's a little bit.
It's so crazy, and I watch it so that I feel better about my life.
Wow. I have too much empathy and I just feel dirty and gross and sad. And
don't feel dirty. Just enjoy others' misery like everybody else does. Sure, you can.
No,
I
I
know
don't.
you can. I've
I
seen you
only
do it.
only enjoy Schadenfreude with people who I despise, who are bad people. These are not bad. These are sad people. The
There
thing
was
I
this
did was,
poor guy. There was this poor guy in his early 60s,
mm,
Kirk,
all
who
guys in their early 60s are poor guys.
um,
Even if they're rich, they're
who
poor guys.
who had been conversing supposedly with this woman
Oh
in the
no.
Ukraine. This
Yeah.
was before the war. Um,
This is
on
World War What?
Yes, before World
The
War One.
war. Yes, okay.
But he was talking to her, only chatting with her
Oh yeah.
on a Russian chat site,
Oh Jesus.
and he had been paying close to $100,000 over 7 years, just chatting with her, not video chatting or
Now,
anything. He
was
didn't
he an
know if she was
NFL?
actually real.
Was he of low IQ? Was this a guy who's a rube?
He just seemed very trusting and very
Like a nice,
innocent, honestly.
like a nice, sweet guy, but I
Yeah,
mean, that level of trust borders on
it's
low.
insanity.
Yeah,
It's
especially
insanity.
that amount of money.
But the funny thing is, he went out to Ukraine several times, and there was always an excuse why she didn't meet.
Oh my god.
Always an excuse, and he did this like 5 times.
Oh my god.
And
See, I
everyone's telling
can't.
him,
I just.
everyone's telling him she's fake. She's fake. She's just trying to get your money. She's just using you.
You know. See, I can't.
But
That
she did show up, and she was exactly who she was in her photos.
no.
Yeah.
Well, the she was a model paid to do this.
No,
They got
no.
married.
They came really close to getting married.
I think she was paid by the mob. Just go be the girl. Use your picture. Go be her. You don't have to marry
Why
him. Just
don't you talk to this
you be
American
on. You
man?
be on TV show. He gave us
It would
$120.
be fun for you. You get to.
Acting experience. Put on your reel. No, see, I watch that and I die inside. I just having been like a lonely guy and being on dating sites.
Yeah.
I remember that, but I'm very cagey about it. I remember there was one gal was very attractive. This was a few years ago. Um, there was a very attractive gal, curvy, and she was on the East Coast somewhere, and she's the one who said, "Hey, hey, handsome," was about. I'm like, already my alert's
And she
going.
kept sending you photos of her with this frog.
Yeah, no. But she was very like, "Hey, I'll fly out and meet you," and because I said, "Hey, do you like after a few, just conversation things and text?" I said, "Hey, do you want to get on a Zoom call and just take this to we can see each other." Knowing that it's a good way to suss out scams. And she's like, "Oh well, what about flying me out and let's getting together and burning some calories?" I think was the phrase. And
Uh-huh.
I said, "Well, yeah, but let's talk first." And so then it became like, oh my, she's literally sent me a picture of her iPhone screen saying, "Oh, camera is broken," and then it was like, "Oh, my camera's broken."
Uh-huh.
But
How'd you take this picture again?
yeah, well, the ones from before they weren't, and then it was like. I said, "Well, let's just do a Zoom call. I don't, you must have a camera, or let's do a live chat." "Oh no, let's go to Snapchat or WhatsApp." I'm like, "Do you want to call? You want to do a Zoom call or a live video call?" "Oh no, just texting." Said, "Well, we're just texting here." "Yeah, but I'm not here. Stringing along. I'm not here very often." I'm like, "Okay, you're a bot. Bye."
Yeah.
I mean, so they try, but to be that unwary or that unaware and go that long. And then you said it turns out to be the girl, but I just think the mobsters who were paying her to be the girl was like, "Here, go meet him, pretend." I can't believe that she missed him 5 times. And he flew out there. "Oh, sorry, I broke my toe. Oh, sorry, sock drawer needs organizing. Oh, my cow escaped." I mean, come on.
Which
I'm
is
like
why
looking
which is why I loved watching this show.
I can't. Well, again, it's too close to home. I feel for that guy. Well, the one
Yeah.
I enjoyed watching was the Dating on the Spectrum show. I forgot what it was called. But it was
It's
autistic.
called The Weirded Beardos.
The Weird Beardos. Yeah. Well, we're not dating though. They would go on dates with couples or two singles who were, I don't know how they were matched up, but they were both on the spectrum. And I found that fascinating and charming because being spectrum-y myself, particularly when it comes to dating when I was a kid, I was like, oh man, I feel again, I feel for him, but you're hoping it works. They're not getting shut down by someone who's, they're paying money to meet. The girls are usually as autistic, if not more so than the
I
guys, and
love artistic girls.
not art. Oh, anyway, it literally called like Dating on the Spectrum. I think it was shot in Australia, where
Uh-huh.
they're a little less politically correct. Oh yeah, it'd be great. You get to see two complete boffins dating. Oh, lovely. Um, yeah.
Boffins.
And there was a guy who was so charming. He was very, Rain Man. It's like and watching them just try and have a conversation was like, oh God, that was me in high school. So what kind of pictures do you like? I like motion pictures I like science fiction pictures, but I don't. And this one girl is just very like, I don't really like movies. Oh, okay. Well, what is it that you enjoy? Do you enjoy listening? That just very professorial. And she was
You know
just
what
kind
I
of,
enjoy? I enjoy not listening to you.
yeah, you could
That's what I
tell.
enjoy.
He was just so trying so hard to be charming and find out about her. And she just, was a lovely person, but just not super, kind of on the spectrum side of not communicating, not enjoying talking. Oh, I think he did find it anyway. There's two or three couples, and it goes through their dating cycle, seeing if they
Wow.
they end up dating or not.
What's the name of this show?
It's literally called like Dating on the Spectrum, or I forget.
Wow.
If you just Google.
Sounds horrible. It
No,
really
it's great.
does.
You're rooting for it. It's too close to home for you. For me, it's not losers trying to find love. It's people who share that I share genetic traits with, and it's hopeful. Like some of them, end up dating, and it's
Yeah, in
charming.
fact, it's a beautiful story, and it's not at all taking advantage of them.
Well, any reality show is taking advantage of the poor schmoes who allow themselves to be filmed, but they probably paid for the dates and gave them $1,000. I don't know. Anyway, enough reality for today. This is a reality show. I was
Well,
gonna say, on a friend's recommendation, and this is a guy we should definitely have on as a guest, Tony
yeah.
Peterlizzi, children's book illustrator and author. He created Spiderwick Chronicles with his friend Holly Black, and he illustrated them all,
Cool.
which was turned into a movie and a TV series, which I couldn't find because it's on Roku. But Tony's a delightful friend and amazing artist. He kind of was really inspired by Arthur Rackham,
Hmm.
and he's done tons of D&D stuff, and I think Magic the Gathering. A very well-known artist in that genre.
Hmm.
But he would be a great guest. He's super fun and funny, and just talking about being a freelance illustrator and creating your own brand. Uh,
Bring them on.
yeah. So anyway, we were just talking about shows that we like. He was here for the Annies to see if his show, and by this time, they announced it last night. So the winner of the Annies for best animated feature was Wild Robot,
Ah,
which my friend Chris Sanders directed, which made me happy. And then Flow won best independent animated film, which I'm told
hmm.
is very warranted. And then Arcane kind of swept the TV stuff, which I don't think is fair because whether it's fair or not, it's good. It's amazing looking, but it's funded by the video game company that created the
Well,
franchise.
sure.
Yeah, so they just make it till it's perfect and then go, oh, we won. How's that
Yeah,
possible?
I got news for you. He-Man was funded by Mattel, so
I know.
it goes on all
No.
the time.
Yeah, but they don't do that anymore. You're not allowed to. But
Uh-huh.
this is kids' television. Anyway, he was suggesting a show that I'd seen advertised for years and hadn't watched, Slow Horses.
Oh yeah.
I
No, it's
love,
great.
yeah, I love Gary Oldman, but just the ads were like, I don't get it. It just looks like,
Yeah, no, the ads are terrible.
yes, yeah, it did not appeal to me in the least.
It doesn't tell anything that you would
No,
find
it's just like
interesting about the
Gary,
show, and
Gary,
the show is great.
Gary Oldman's a slob, and it's sort of like the British FBI. That's all you know about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, why do I care about? I mean, it's not a comedy. It doesn't look like it moves very fast. And then I watched the first two episodes.
Yeah,
I
amazing.
watched 4 episodes. I just was hooked. I was watching till 12:30 at night.
And there's
Yeah, it's
hardly any
great.
horses in it at all.
There's no horses. Only you find out why. But the cast is amazing, and it's sort of, I'm guessing after watching almost all of season one, that each season is like almost like a 24-hour kind of job, or a week. It's a very short,
Right,
compressed
right.
time. It's not an anthology. It's not a
It's almost like a real-time show.
Yeah, it's that.
The way 24 was
I was
supposed
gonna
to
say it made me think of 24. Yeah. But boy, is that good. So anyone looking for a show that if you saw the ads or if you saw them, you'd be like, because it's Apple, it doesn't really advertise except on Apple,
be. Yeah.
and Apple.
See, Apple doesn't care if you watch or not.
No, I know, and I have friends who pitched to them and try to get shows in them, and they're like, they're kind of a pain in the ass to deal with. I think their development because they don't care.
But when they let you make your show, they let you make your show.
All the Fraggles, they just pour money all over because they have so much money, and like the Fraggle Rock series is great. That's the thing you like, but it wasn't like, oh shit, we're out of money to reuse old Muppets. Nope, we got whatever you want. And they shoot that up in Canada with a bunch of friends.
Of course they do.
But, yeah. But the other thing I watched on Apple was Foundation, which I think we talked about.
Foundation, yeah.
I think that's great.
I like season 2 a lot better than season 1.
Yeah. Well, season 1 had a lot to cover if you read the books. I mean, it covers like a 1,200 years.
Yeah, but it doesn't cover anything in the books.
Well, it
completely sort of jumps over a lot of stuff in the book.
Well, it has to. I mean, the books are dense.
No, well, they're yeah. So was Isaac Asimov.
Well, yeah, but he liked Dirty Limerick, so he doesn't win.
Well, who doesn't?
Well, a lot of people, turns out. Like
and let's talk a little about Severance.
Oh yeah, another. Well, that I knew. I mean, that loved from season 1 and was dying because it took 2 years for it to come back.
Yeah. I watched the first season.
Yeah.
Baffled the hell out of me.
Well, until the last 10 minutes, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, and then but then the second season doesn't even pick up on that.
No. All I'm gonna say is goats, and you're like, what?
What? Huh?
I know, but I said it's very David Lynch, but I think it's like Lost, but with they know what they're doing. They're just.
I guess so.
I hated Lost because I knew, and it was like Twin Peaks after season 1.
It has the same kind of tone in it. That did you ever see Devs?
No.
That was a show on Hulu or FX.
I remember the title, but never watched it.
Watch it; it's incredible. It has this sort of creepy underpinning that you feel something going on that you don't know what it is,
right?
And it's so creepy.
But is it actually revealed? In other words, does there a?
Oh yeah, no, it reveals everything by the end of the show.
I'm hoping, because the guys on this are smart guys.
Yeah.
But the characters are so good. And John Turturro, on episode 4, I'm not going to say anything what happens, but it's like the tour de force for him.
Yeah.
They all get their moments. But the gal who plays Helly R. and Helena.
The red hair
one. I don't know where she came from, but man, is she good. She's sort of like, reminds me of Ray Seahorn from Better Call Saul, where you're like, who is this actress? And
where has she been? Why haven't I heard of
her? You hypnotize someone who's an actual lawyer and just went, no, you don't see the cameras. You're just, yeah. I mean, she and Ray Seahorn. So
that's funny because I've been going through Better Call Saul completely over the past few weeks. I love it so much.
That was my last show that I watched some episodes twice just to be like, oh, it's so good. And I don't, I'm a nerd, like sci-fi and fantasy and more clever stuff, but it's so well done. And the characters were so intriguing because, a lot of the shit's just soap operas and, soap operas with funny clothes. I found The Expanse to be that. I know some people loved it, but I just
I couldn't get through Expanse.
Yeah, no, I just okay, and I know it was politics, space politics. I just was like, nah, I don't care.
It felt more to me like a more expensive Babylon 5.
Yeah, with no aliens.
With no aliens.
Which is what I liked about Babylon 5.
Yeah.
At least the idea of other races. Severance is amazing, and they keep stringing you along with weirdness, but I so enjoy they're gonna they're not gonna tell you. It's shot beautifully.
Yeah.
Ben Stiller does a great job. He's directed two out of the 4 episodes. He's directed 2 of them. Maybe he's directed all of them, but he's doing a great job as a director. And the cast. I mean, I've loved Adam Scott since he was doing comedies. He kind of came out of comedy.
He's kind of the only negative that I feel about the show because I
Really?
absolutely hate him. We were talking about it before. He has this so punchable face.
But that's what's great about him.
Yeah, no, I don't find that great. I just
Oh,
find it annoying.
I think that's he always played like pricks, like in the comedy, he's always kind of the
Yeah.
asshole best friend or the brother-in-law or whatever, like in Step Brothers. But in this, I like seeing him as kind of that hapless hero, or he's the guy who's like, "What's happening?" I don't know. I really like. I don't find him punchable.
Well, he's the least interesting character in the show.
Well, he's the entry man.
Yeah,
He's your
he's the pivot. He's the pivot of the
sort of
show.
like Kermit the Frog. Is he the most interesting or the least interesting? Because
And Adam Scott as Kermit the Frog.
yeah, exactly. Like, what's happening? What are you guys doing? I mean, that's that linchpin character. When you're writing shows like that, you need the least quirky character that the audience kind of identifies with, so they go,
Right.
okay. So
Right.
not everybody's
The Kyle MacLachlan.
I love Zach Cherry's character because he's sort of like, that's what I was like, what the fuck? He's just swearing, going, this is bullshit. And he's like, I care about my family. Like I have a family, and he's kind of fascinated. But and Turturro's amazing. It's just this oddball, which when does John Turturro not play an oddball? But his relationship with Christopher Walken was Bert. It was just great. Like it's enigmatic, and the characters are so unique that you just go, I can watch them walk down a hallway, and that's a lot of the show is them walking down blank white hallways. But the production design is great. It's not based on anything. It's an original idea. I think, or was it based on a book? Was there a sci-fi book about it? I don't know. But
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's anything original these days is going to get my vote and give it a lot of love, because
And that's we really have to give Apple credit for producing these things, or allowing them to be produced.
Right.
Because that's what's so great about them, because they're taking risks.
Right, but as you said, because they don't care.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, Mom, we don't give a shit, because this is where we're basically a hardware company, and this is, some software to help.
This is just a weekend activity for us. Yeah.
Which is why I think their development is kind of nuts, because people are like, I've had friends who, oh no, it's great, we love it. No, we're not going to do that. And I know they kind of gave up on it, mainly kids entertainment, because that's the people I know.
Right.
They just kind of gave up on anything over 5-year-olds. Like, oh, we're going to do little kid stuff, and then we jump straight to like all and old.
Well, because kids don't want to watch TV.
Well, yeah,
they're doing other stuff.
Well,
there's no audience there anymore.
My frustration with the show that I worked on for 3 years, Max and the Midnights, is right before our show launched, about a month and a half, 2 months before, because of cost cutting, Paramount fired all their marketing people.
Yeah.
Did I talk about this, where they came to the crew and said, hey, if you have any crazy, you want to shoot little YouTube clips of talking about the show? And we're like,
what?
And so they haven't marketed it all. It airs once a week on Wednesdays at 7. And I'm like, kids don't. And the thinking was, oh, kids will watch with their families every Wednesday.
No. First of all, kids don't want to watch anything with their families.
Right. Well, because they want to watch on their phone.
Second, certainly not at Wednesday night at 7.
Yeah, it was this weird kind of throwback thinking. And so what's even worse is they run it a couple times, I think, after that, but you can't see and it's completely a linked up show. Like, you have to watch it in order.
Right.
And you can't watch the previous shows. The only way you can is if you buy it on Apple or on Amazon, and no kid's going to spend $2 a show or $26 for the season, whatever it is. And so we're just, what I'm told is the executives are happy with whatever at Paramount, Nickelodeon Paramount. They said, oh no, they're happy with whatever the metrics they decide is popular, but nobody knows about it. I brought it up because, like, oh, next year we will be able to be nominated for an Annie, and I'm like,
right,
who's going to even know it's on the air? And it's not a bad show. It actually looks great and it's fun. I'm happy to be a part of it. It's not like I'll take my name off. But
I thought the Annie Awards were awards for all the actresses who have played Annie on Broadway over the years.
That is a common misconception, Darren. No, it's short for animation awards. You see?
Oh, I see.
Annie animation. Yeah.
So she was animated?
No. Annie was played by a live actress, a girl named somebody something. I almost remember her name.
Well, the first one was Andrea McArdle.
Andrea McArdle. There you go. Yes.
And the one in the movie was Eileen Quinn, which I like to say Alien Queen.
Wait, didn't Andrea McArdle play it? Have they done the movie twice? No, just the one with.
No, they did the movie twice.
Yeah,
they did a race changed version.
Oh, that's right. So, but the original movie was with Albert Finney as Daddy Warbucks.
Correct. Carol Burnett and Eileen Quinn.
Eileen Quinn and Tim Curry as Rooster.
Correct.
Eileen Quinn. I remember it as Andrea McArdle because I did.
Andrea McArdle was the first on Broadway.
On Broadway, and that was it. Anyway, a sidebar about Annie. Are you more you know?
Remember, you're never fully dressed without a smile and a dress.
Well, then I go out nude a lot.
Oh dear!
I'm sorry, I'm naked.
No, that's the look on everyone else's face when you did.
They're like.
Depends on which neighborhood you're in.
Speaking of naked, I just watched one of my favorite movies I hadn't watched
tonight on Speaking of Naked.
Speaking of naked, Waking Ned Divine.
Yes. Oh yes. Yeah.
And I've forgotten that Jackie and Michael are buck naked for a whole scene, riding their bikes and their motorcycles. It's just so funny and such a dark comedy too. But without feeling like a dark, feeling just like a lighthearted comedy, but with darkness to it, which is very Irish. I love that movie. Watch it again. I'm like, I mean, there's not a wasted scene in there.
And great, it's jam-packed with peat.
Torf, as they call it. They cut into torf. It reminded what made me think of it was I was watching. I watched an Irish horror film, done recently called "The Boys from County Hell," which is a terrible title. It's a terrible title, but it's a great movie. It's definitely worth a watch. It's a fun Irish vampire legend kind of movie, but set in the present day. And I will say I won't give the spoilers, but the one concept, which is given away in the cold open of the movie or the first scene, is that this vampire creature sucks the blood out of you from afar. So it starts with this old couple having tea, watching telly, and suddenly the woman's nose starts bleeding. And she goes, Roger. And she looks over her husband. Blood is pouring out of his eyes, out of his nose, and it's going down the carpet and out the door. And you just see it going down the street. You're like, what it's creepy as hell. And I don't know how they did it, whether it was CG or, but it looks absolutely real. It does not look computer generated. Wow. And that's the concept of this vampire creature called
So that's the Irish vampire horror movie.
Yes. The Boys from County Hell. And it's great characters, like 6 characters in the movie, but it's great Irish accents, with names like Jackie and Michael. And so after that, I'm like, I want to watch one of my favorite.
Were there any Seamuses in it?
No, there was no Seamus. There wasn't a Seamus.
There's no Seamus in there, Gamus. Thank you.
If you turn off
my favorite Irish horror film is the day the pubs ran dry.
I didn't see that one.
It's not a movie. It doesn't exist.
I was just killing your joke for you.
You were just joke killer. You remotely kill jokes.
There I do. You're welcome. I suck the comedy out of from afar. There's a great Irish horror movie about aliens that can't kill you if you're drunk. So for however they kill you. So the entire town goes down to the pub and gets pissed and fights the aliens blotto drunk.
Wow.
Yeah, it's obviously a horror comedy. I forgot what it's called, but you can find it. It's on either Amazon or Netflix. But that one was fun. And then Local Hero.
You'd think that an Irish vampire, if he attacks a drunk person,
just suck the booze out.
Would just get drunk.
Yeah, you would think so. But they're Irish, so
he's drunk on human blood.
You're racist now.
Yeah,
join the
I'm an erasist. I erase racism.
No, you don't.
Sure, I do.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
The erasist.
I'm an ally to all.
Are you?
except Nazis. I don't like Nazis. I don't like fascists. Um, wow, that got really political. Excuse me.
Well, you can call
What else?
anything anything these
Those are
days.
shows I've watched that I've liked. We talked about Severance and Slow Horses and a couple others.
Did we talk about what the heck? Silo.
I watched like 5 episodes thinking it was going to kick in. I heard, oh, season 2 is better, but I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, I had the
That-
same reaction. I
That's like
really
a
tried.
soap opera. That's a soap opera in a sci-fi environment, but it's just, and then, there's one guy starts going down the big hole.
Every other scene is 2 people standing on that
Right.
circular thing talking.
I thought, a friend of mine said it's Fallout but dull. Fallout with a smaller budget.
It's dull.
Like, really, what it is? It's like, oh, okay, people living in an underground. They don't know what happened to the real world, but no one goes anywhere. Nothing happens. I was like, someone said, oh, season 2 it picks up. I'm like, really? I got to
It
give
doesn't
it
though.
Oh, did you watch season 2? Yeah, it's just it's the.
And I love Rebecca Ferguson in everything else.
Well, the cast is not bad. I mean, they're good actors doing a good acting job in a story that I don't give a crap about.
Yeah,
I wanted to. I watched it. Like, oh, cool! Like more of a thinking man's Fallout. Less goofy, less zombie ghouls and all that. No, just a soap opera. It was like, what was that? You'll remember the name because you have an incredible memory. There was a Canadian sci-fi series about a ship with
Star Lost.
Star Lost.
1973.
Yes. It kind of went on and on. Nothing happened.
Originally co-produced by Doug Trumbull.
Right, I remember that because
then but then he left, and then they made shit.
Did they use the ships from Silent Running and just change them? No, okay.
No,
because it's very similar
design. The domes were a similar design.
Yeah.
But it was all made in Canada, starring Keir Dullea.
Yeah, I remember.
And I watched it when I was a kid, when I was 6 years old, and it creeped the hell out of me.
Well, so you were 6, I was like 10 or whatever, and I kept going, ooh, sci-fi, and it was a soap opera with different set dressing, but I like the idea.
Well, there's this one episode that they have guest starring Walter Koenig and John Colicos.
Okay, then.
I have all the episodes on my Plex server if you want to see them.
Oh, I've got Plex, but I didn't know they ran Star Lost.
Well, then we should exchange libraries like you do.
I mean, we're friends, man, but I'm not ready to exchange. That was for the sharp kids in the audience.
Both of them.
How much more of this do we have to endure? Oh,
hey.
I'm thinking of our listeners, not.
No, you're not. They're off doing something else, having us play in the background.
What's going? Yeah, it's true. We're just like, oh, you want to go to sleep? Here, listen, Darren and I will just talk like that. Hey, buddy. So,
you're getting very sleepy.
Yes. Tonight we're going to discuss science fiction films we've enjoyed.
Well, it's been a quiet week in Lake Wobegon.
Yes. What do you got going on Trek-wise? You still working with the Roddenberries?
Still working with the Roddenberries. The Roddenberry Archive. Oh, toy.
Oh, toy. Oh, Rapture.
Yes, very good.
We should make us come.
Oh, Rapture.
I killed myself.
Still working with them.
No, are they did that amazing thing that we talked about a few episodes ago where they recreated
unification. Yes.
Are they selling that tech? I mean, because that technology is happening with these Chinese companies doing AI stuff, but that was so remarkably done well. Are they selling that service to Hollywood now, or is it still kind of?
It is available to
purchase or buy.
Explore with. Yes.
Really, for free? We say explore.
Not for free. No.
Okay.
No.
Are they
used on productions?
Because of the freewheeling AI developments, particularly something just came out called literally is the last week. Something I can't remember so much, but it essentially does very realistic. You can take a picture of somebody and animates them to the point where you're like, is that an actor? Dressed. It takes the Matthew Brady photo of Lincoln,
right,
and he starts animating and talking. And now whether you can have him say actual dialogue, or it just sort of gives him.
No, that's the thing. Dialogue is extremely difficult.
Oh
and
yeah,
they can't
even
do it.
the Ben Grimm stuff. Oh, let's talk about the Fantastic Four trailer.
Oh yeah,
Dropped.
you
I
know
love
what?
Ben Grimm, but the lip sync is not there. And maybe they're like, well, he has rocks for lips, so it's not going to be.
I think the lip sync on CG is odd because it usually looks just out of sync to me. It looks like it's at least 2 frames early on the visual.
That's kind of how it felt. Like, well, his lips aren't, he's got big, fat, flat, he's like this. So, I mean, he's not going to be like, oh, let's go have some garlic. It's
Yeah.
kind of like, man,
no, I don't have any problem with the animation. It's just the sync.
No. That's what I'm saying. The lip sync looked, I love the way he looked. I love the way he moved.
I think he looks perfect. He looks absolutely perfect.
And there's a little bit of sound of the rocks like grinding.
Yeah, grinding.
I love that. I thought the best. I mean, it's literally the Ben Grimm, like the one you imagine as a kid.
Yeah.
Because as I was talking to the post supervisor, it was a pal. He was saying that they didn't want it to look. It wasn't stretching rocks.
Right.
It was rock sliding and moving. So he said the 3 companies worked on Ben Grimm for the whole movie. I said it had to be Weta. He goes, yeah, that was kind of like the point. But they had to break up his face into 3-dimensional rocks or cubes or shapes.
And do a solve on them all the time.
Do a solve on it so they would slide with the facial expressions not stretched and squashed.
Right.
It's subtle, but man, it really sells you. Like, that looks like a man got made out of rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the coolest thing. And then the what was the little robot from? I mean, if you were a fan of the comics as a kid, as I was, it was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
The only thing is, it's weird to me. I thought John Krasinski looks more like what I thought Reed Richards would look like when they used him at the end of whatever it was.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Mandalorian playing Reed Richards.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously, I'll wait till the movie and see how he works.
He's an affable guy, but it does not. Again, everyone else looks like how I imagined.
Yeah,
Sue Storm. I mean, they're all pretty close.
And I'm glad Sue Storm is older. She should be older.
Yeah, no, she's not. Yeah, a 28-year-old.
Yeah.
But they didn't even give him the gray sidewalls, did they? He has the mustache. I'm like, really? You couldn't lose the mustache for?
I just don't understand, and I'm sick of this handful of actors playing everything.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, Krasinski looked like Reed Richards to me, and I thought, oh, that's
I mean, he's still a little young. Krasinski's still a little young for that.
Yeah, well, they could. I mean, look, a little gray in the temples. They could do that, but
yeah.
Anyway, it looks amazing, and people.
The funny thing is that George Clooney would be perfect for Reed Richards.
Yeah. But I think.
But his personality is so overwhelming that I don't think he would ever be believable. That's the sad part.
That's an interesting take. Yeah, so we were last night with our buddy Frank Dietz. We were talking about who would play.
Yeah.
Who would you cast as Reed Richards? Again, I'm sure he's going to do an amazing job, and everyone who knows worked on it and is working on it because they're still in post.
Yeah,
just says it's amazing and it's great, and everyone's called out Michael Giacchino's music already on the trailer,
right?
Which is nice. His music's better than nice. I mean, it's nice that people are calling. But
to be honest, I'm a fan of the Worst Brothers score for the Roger Corman one. Honestly.
I've never seen the Roger Corman one. I thought you can't see it.
Sure, you can. Do a search on YouTube. It's there.
Oh, okay.
It's great and horrible at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I like the second one they did with the Silver Surfer that Ralph. I mean, and then was that the Michael Chiklis ones? Yeah. Yes. No, they've done Michael so Chiklis? Many.
It's named after the gum.
Mike Chicks, Mikey Gum.
Mikey Chicks.
Anyway, the 4-mobile or whatever, the Fantastic Four car. That shot of it going through Manhattan or Gotham.
The Fantastic car.
Fantastic car. That's it. That was great. Oh, Herbie or the robot. Was his name Herbie or something?
I think so.
Yeah, that was funny, and the kind of nod to the bear where he's like, let's put a little more garlic in it. Give it. That was all great. So I'm really looking for. That's a movie I'm very excited to see.
I hope it's good. I'm looking forward to it. I hope it's good.
What's the Cap movie coming out with Harrison Ford as Red Hulk, Captain America?
Yes.
Brave New World.
Yeah, Brave New World.
I don't know.
I think there's just going to be too much shit in it.
I hear from inside that it was a troubled production. I guess they fired the original director. Is that true?
What else is new? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's yeah, it's weird. You can the smell of things comes off the trailer. The trailer's like, okay,
It smells like Harrison Ford.
it does. Well, I love Harrison Ford, and him playing
Yeah,
Red Hope.
not
So
now.
no,
I
I love.
loved Harrison Ford.
Oh, I think he's great. He's still. Have you watched Shrinking? He's great in it.
I can't get through it.
I know.
I
I've
can't get
watched.
through it.
He's
I don't
great in
find it
it.
funny. I don't find
Well,
it
I find
funny, and I find it annoying.
yeah, I find Jason Segel annoying. I find Harrison Ford is great. Um,
You just Harry the Carpenter.
because he gets to play crabby old dude. Oh, I love his quote about I guess it's an old quote, but it's suddenly making the rounds. Is like, how do you feel about what was it? What was the last Indiana Jones? Something of
The
time,
Dial of Destiny.
Dial of Destiny. What do you
Yeah,
feel about
that
that?
was
He
that
goes,
was
shit
that was all my
said,
fault.
you said shit happens.
That
So
was all my fault. I actually thought that there was another story in that guy.
yeah, he did say that, and he said I wanted to see Indy as an old man, like as I am. I'm not gonna like try and be
Yeah,
Superman. I thought, and then he's like, man, it failed at the box office. He said, man, shit happens. Well, yep.
yeah.
He don't
It
care.
happens when you spend
He,
400 million on a movie.
well, and he gets his 100 million or whatever,
Yeah,
and he's like, I don't know, man. I'm
I
not the
don't care.
director.
The money's still green.
Yeah, exactly. And so yeah, that was a trailer that I'm excited. Yeah, I wish I don't know the Captain America after they should have just left him after was it Endgame, where he's old and he's with his girlfriend, and
Yeah, that
I
was
love
great.
that. That's great. We don't need
We don't
and
need anything else.
Anthony Mackie should just be not Captain America, but
You should be Vulture,
Or not Vulture, but
not Vulture.
yeah,
Uh,
that's bad.
Airhawk, whatever the hell his name is.
Yeah, Hawkman, whatever. Yeah,
No,
like
he's
what?
not Hawkman. That's
I
DC.
know, I know that's DC, but whatever his
Yeah, whatever his character is that no
Captain
one
Hawk.
knows what it is.
But like, and I guess maybe that happened in the comics. I don't know. I'd stopped reading back in the early '80s.
Well, everyone did.
Well, no, obviously comics were huge in the. I mean, God, Golden Apple was like mobbed all the time.
Yeah, but you see, you're assuming that people are actually reading them and not just looking at the pictures.
Collecting them to sell to flip them. Yeah, I don't know. I think Marvel's going to pull it out with. I think 4 is going to be a new franchise for them, like Avengers was.
I hope so.
Yeah, I do too.
I just wish that they were,
I just want them to do the Ben Grimm rom com with the blind gal. I forget her name.
Oh, yeah, Alicia.
Alicia. I just want that. I hope that she's an Easter egg or like she's in this as even a little side
I
note.
hope so too.
Because that's such a great story for anyone.
I love the Fantastic Four. That was one of the first comic books that I ever had.
Yeah,
And it was so amazing.
It's funny that the most successful Marvel comic is still Spider-Man. That was the one I didn't care much about. I mean, it was fine, but also the villains were not great. Whereas X-Men, Fantastic Four, Avengers all had great villains and great storylines, and much like the Muppets, it was a group of misfits trying to get along, which I like.
Though I loved the last Spider-Man movie that I actually got to work on a bit. No Way Home.
No, I think Marvel. I just mean not the movies. I mean the comic books.
Yeah.
The comic books. I didn't hate Spider-Man. Just like I didn't find him.
Why do you hate Spider-Man?
I do not hate Spider-Man.
Stop hating Spider-Man.
I don't hate Spider-Man. I am agnostic when it comes to Spider-Man. But no, Marvel's done a great thing with it. I think Tom Holland is great. I love Marissa Tomei as Aunt May, like kind of shaking it up a bit, not having her be, American Gothic's grandmother. And yeah, the last one was great with the three. I mean, it was great. It was great. Absolutely great. Love the movies. Yeah. Love them. Absolutely love them. But, and this is a big but because it's mine.
Everybody's got a big butt. Let's talk about your big butt.
My big butt. It's a song I'm writing. My big butt. That was a guitar, by the way, not me. Yeah, anyway, sorry. You can see where the camera posed.
Easy.
Yes, Spider-Man movies versus the Avengers movies were great. The TV, are they bringing Moon Knight back?
I don't think so.
I wanted to like Moon Knight because I was like, I'd never read the comics, so I'm like, okay, well, show me what this world is. It was interesting. It didn't really gel 100%, but I enjoyed it. I couldn't watch Echo. I tried. I was like, ooh. Daredevil. I was never a fan of the comic. I mean, The Man Without Fear,
Yeah.
right? I didn't watch it.
I never liked Daredevil because that was always one of my nicknames in high school.
Well, it's not a terrible nickname.
Yeah, it is.
Better than Dorkderman or Durwood or you want some more? Or Dr. Darren. Oh, that's money. Yeah, comic books. Interesting times. What else are they developing? There was some other big thing in the pipeline. They went down. So when I was talking to them about doing a project with them, which I guess I can say now, I don't work with the Muppets anymore. It was going to be a multiverse idea where the Muppets are the Avengers in.
Right.
Yeah, and
The
they
Muppets
get
multiverse.
Doctor Strange, the Muppets, Super Avengers come into our world, and then the real Avengers are cameos, but the actors who play the Avengers are cameos in the Muppet world. Where like
was Gonzo Doctor Strange?
I don't remember now. It's been so long. I remember Piggy was. I mean, she doesn't have a lot of roles. There's not a lot of female roles.
She was Black Widow.
Black Widow. Kermit, we played around. Is Kermit Thor or is the Swedish Chef Thor? Because in the comics, it's actually canon that Thor was a frog for a while. It was a little weird offshoot, but there was Frog Thor. So we talked about Kermit being Thor, but we also like the Swedish Chef.
Yeah. I would think that Kermit would be Captain America.
Yeah, well, character-wise, personality-wise, absolutely. But we were playing with Sam the Eagle as Captain America, kind of punch up,
too.
Kind of the great Americanness of it, and not so much the emotional, but the concept of Captain America. But he would also be. Oh, and we had Clifford as Nick Fury.
Yeah,
because he was the only African American puppet we ever had that was specifically African American. But I love Sam Jackson. But who else?
You're forgetting Roosevelt Franklin.
Technically, it was purple, and yes, he was there to embrace the culture, and he got canceled because of it.
He did.
They also canceled. Well, we won't get into that. Anyway,
they also canceled Kirk Thatcher right before he. Yeah.
Yeah, when I said my eyes look Asian. There were the other characters. I think let's see, Bunsen and
who was Iron Man?
Well, that's what I'm trying to remember. I think the idea was that, and again, personality-wise,
it would seem to me that Beaker should have been Iron Man, and Bunsen Honeydew built the suit.
Yes, that's what we're talking about. We remember Beaker was but we had it all cast. And it was fun. I think Doctor Strange was Gonzo, and he was just Dr. Really Strange.
Right.
Yeah, it was fun. It's been so long. But anyway, I pitched it to Marvel when they had 32 projects in development. Like that's interesting. Once we get through a couple of these and get them out the door, and then Chapek came in and cut their development down to you get 8 projects, not 32. Right. Whatever. It wouldn't have broken the bank, but it would have been fun. It would have been better put it this way, it would have been better for the Muppets than it would have been for Marvel. I think the Muppets do best when they're parodying a genre, and I always want to do a superhero thing. And when Disney bought it in Marvel, I was like, oh, wow, we could do it. Because it originally started as like a YouTube sketch, one of their Muppet, viral videos. And it was just them, the Avengers in the boardroom, and, just kind of a laundry list gag of who's playing what, and then we were going to have Sam Jackson play Nick Fury in that and just come in and swear a blue streak. And Kurt was like, you can't say that. This is we're a children's program. I don't know, it's just been funny. But
I want these mother effing Muppets off my mother.
These Muppet loving Muppets off my Muppet loving.
Muppet loving.
Muppet fluffing. Muppet fluffing Muppets off my Muppet fluffing plane. Oh, Mr. Fury, you can't say that. See, you already start giggling. Yeah. Any hoozles.
Yes. Well, there we have it for this week.
Wow, this was a slog. Sorry.
What are you talking about? It went just like that.
No, I'm just kidding.
You want to see a slog? I'll make you a slog.
Act like a slog. It's in the morning.
We have lots of interesting guests planned.
So many. Oh my gosh.
Well, we have at least 5 or 6.
Yeah. We'll just have to, and I will someday promote this show. I promise. It comes down to I hate promoting anything I'm a part of. I just feel I'm embarrassed.
Well, just imagine that you're not part of it.
I know. You see the Darren Doctorman show, right?
Yeah.
I play a spunky sidekick. Maybe I take that approach. I don't know. I got to do something because, our 80 listeners and viewers are getting tired.
Well, I mean, we are up to 80. We were 60 back last season.
We're 80.
And we've added at least a third more, so that's exciting.
When we get 100, do we get a gold star or something from YouTube? We
don't get nothing until we reach 1,000.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. So next week we're going to do a giveaway.
No, we're not.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be an original drawing by Darren Doctorman.
Nope.
It's $100. It's a lottery, and you send us $100, and the winner gets a drawing by Darren signed by me.
I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
If you'll notice on the screen, you can email us at theweirdedbeardos@gmail.com. All one word.
Look at that.
Isn't that magical?
Look at you. You're so clever. I mean, you're the super genius.
You're darn right I am. What? Look, we can both be super geniuses.
Thanks. We're a big tent podcast.
We need a big tent.
That's not just a fat joke.
We need a big tent for the stupid fat guy show.
Big fat idiots.
Yeah.
Big fat idiots. Thank you for listening and watching. If you have been, if you haven't, then go suck a bag of eggs. I don't care.
And if you've just been listening, perhaps you'll join us on YouTube where you can actually see us spewing crap.
You can see what I'm wearing. Ooh.
Oh my.
Oh my.
What Hawaiian shirt does he have on this week?
Very daring.
Oh.
Well, if you've been listening this far, thank you. You're a hero to me.
Thank you, everybody. We will see you next time. The Weirded Beardos are Kirk Thatcher and Darren Doctorman. Email them at theweirdedbeardos@gmail.com.